G'day, it's another travel day. Singapore Airlines to Singapore, an overnighter, and then Gulf Air to Bahrain. Check-in was quick, so was security, and if you have an APEC card, make sure you use that gate because it saved me probably 15 minutes down there waiting in a queue to exit immigration. Now I'm upstairs in the Keeper's Kansai Lounge and I am impressed. Never been here before. In fact, I don't think I've ever flown internationally out of Osaka, which is where I am now. Last night it was a bus ride, 2 train trips and a $200 taxi to get to our airport hotel so that Jace could make his very early morning flight and I could make this one. So what's on offer here up at the buffet? Well, plenty in fact, along with some OK spirits, Prosecco and beer, along with soft drinks, of course, from a machine. I have an overnighter in Singapore. Why? Well, originally I booked a return flight, Perth-Osaka, which would have got me back to Perth and 13 hours later, starting my next journey to Bahrain via Singapore. I don't know why I did that, but it was dumb. So I ended up moving the return flight from Singapore to Perth back to later in the year when I need it. And for the Bahrain flight, I dropped the first sector, Perth-Singapore. So now I've just got Singapore to Bahrain. And I'm meeting a friend in Singapore and staying at a most glorious hotel. Well, I'm in seat 15A and there is no row 13 on Singapore Airlines. It goes from 12 to 14. Straight up, I'll tell you, I'm a fan of Singapore Airlines staff. I think they're some of the best in the air. A bit like the Japanese in terms of the warmth and hospitality, and obviously English is their first language. That pretty much ticks all the boxes for me. Now this is a 6-hour flight, well, 1 minute shy of 6 hours on a lie flat seat. It's not their best business class seat. Their A380 seat is absolutely mega. It would be another 5 or 6 centimetres wide, if not 10, and the whole suite is much more open. But for a 6-hour flight, this is fine. You won't be unhappy. Just pushed back from the gate and we're heading off, but a couple of you have asked what sort of equipment I use to record these videos. That camera there, which is a Canon R5 with an MKE 400 Sennheiser mic, and I also use this one, which is an Instago 3S, and another one, an Insta360, but that's in my other luggage. Now, we've just been served chicken satay. Now, I'd be interested if you've flown Malaysian Airlines as to whether or not you reckon the Malaysian chicken satays are better than Singapore, because these are very good, but I seem to remember that Malaysia Airlines was better. We're keen for your thoughts in the comments. About an hour after the satays were brought out, it was lunchtime, starting off with some prawns and then a fillet of beef with some nice vegetables, which I ordered a couple of weeks prior using their Book the Cook system. 7 out of 10 for the steak. And then there was a tasty ice cream dish and some nice cheeses. Another impressive flight with Singapore Airlines, but will Gulf Air be any better? I'll find out tomorrow. Right now, clear immigration and head into the city. Well, this is the Pan Pacific Orchard Hotel. It is without doubt one of the most beautiful hotels I stay at. The lobby behind me is all open air. That's right, there is no air conditioning, there's no doors. This is all out in the open. It's right in the heart of things in Singapore. The rooms are stylish and some of them have these magnificent balconies that overlook this void. But the one drawback is the service. They're lovely people, but they're either not given the training or the resources to be able to do the job properly, so it can be very frustrating. Well, I've enjoyed a very pleasant 24 hours here in lovely Singapore. Now it's back to the airport. Well, this is one of the great airports of the world. Look at the height here. This must be 3 to 4 stories high. There's lots of high-end retail and some more modest stuff, and it's one of 4 different terminals here in Singapore. Now, we're off to the SATS Premium Lounge 3. Now, I've been to a number of lounges in this airport, not Terminal 3 in the whole Singapore airport. The best by a mile is Qantas's first class lounge. And I reckon this one probably rates just below mid-level. There's some reasonable food up there. The mashed potato was good. An uninspiring selection of alcohol, but the seats are comfortable and it's not overcrowded. Then there's this special area called the Executive Lounge, which is a lot quieter and has far better air conditioning. And I've probably only got another 20 minutes to kill in here before we head off on the second and final leg of this trip, Gulf Air to Bahrain. I left my passport in the tray. It was with this big lens. There it is. Is it there?
All fell down, fell inside.
Oh, right, that's it there, is it? Thank you very much. See ya. Lost my passport, but got it back. Fell out of the tray. I'm on board a 787-900 today. It is GF 166, I think, direct to Bahrain, and it is quite warm. As you just saw, I had a bit of a scare with my passport, but thankfully I have it back. And this is a really interesting layout. Now, I've flown this earlier this year. You might have seen that video. If you have, I'll repeat myself here, but if you haven't, this is brand new. It's 222, but the seats are staggered, and it's like we're in little stalls, and I think, well, in fact I know, that this is a much better alternative than the Singapore Airlines seat that I just came off of. The other thing is that there is no box for your feet to go in, and I love it. You've got a completely lie flat bed here. In the seat pocket down here is a pair of headphones, which are comfortable. Certainly better than those China Eastern headphones I had the other day. They were a complete waste of time. Arabic coffee and a date offered on certainly most of the Arab airlines I've ever travelled on before we take off. I hate coffee. I'm not going to taste it for you guys, but I'll have a bite of this. That's very good. Now, menu. It was delivered earlier on. Let me tell you what we got. For main course, chicken guzzi, braised beef short ribs, laksa goreng, and ricotta and eggplant cannelloni. There's a crab salad to start and some desserts. When it comes to the presentation of the menu, this is something that you'd probably get school people to do. A few sheets of white paper and staple together. The Singapore menu is much nicer to look at, but it's not going to affect the taste of the meal, but it is one aspect where Singapore outranks golf. I rate this the third best in-flight amenities kit. In it, socks, comb, eye mask, lip balm and moisturiser, dental kit, mouthwash and earplugs and a fragrance. Only two other airlines that I fly on regularly offer fragrance, and they are Qatar and Emirates, and they offer a much higher level of fragrance, but still, this is more than handy and gratefully appreciated. The trade-off for having so much area down there for your feet is that there's not much room for storage, but I think I'd rather have the feet room than the storage. Now, there are controls for the seat massager on the left-hand side here, and on the right there's power, and it's a universal power supply, plus 3 USB sockets. And they have a Japanese-style toilet with the bum washer. Now, the captain's advised us that we're expecting some turbulence, so they're going to suspend the meal service. Until then, I'm going to watch a movie. An hour into the flight, food service began with a crab salad. I chose the braised beef short ribs, 6.9 out of 10 for that, and then finished off with a lemon meringue tart. Singapore Airlines wins the prize for the in-flight entertainment, but I did like the fact that you could watch a movie on the handset on the Gulf Air flight. I thought that was a nice touch. Thank you, ciao. We've got 2 great flights, but if I had to pick a winner, it would be the Gulf Air, primarily because of that seat. It's just so nice. But if you were comparing that Gulf Air flight with Singapore Airlines A380 business class, you'd pick the A380 Singapore any day. Well, no lines at immigration. Luggage was there when I got out, and I'm through in several minutes, which is fantastic. And it's 25 degrees out here, light breeze blowing, and now it's off to the Le Méridien Hotel.
Welcome back.
It's good to be here, sir. Well, this is my home for the next 7 days here in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I'm excited by the prospect of an exciting race. Last one was pretty darn boring. Now, before you go, one favour for those unsubscribed, please hit the subscribe button. About 50% of those watching these videos are not subscribed, or at the very least, could you please like it? And for a whole lot of extra F1 content and merchandise and stuff, that's where you need to look. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate.